Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Willardy and welcome back to the channel. As we recently have discussed my favorite Pokemon features, I think it's time to finally go ahead and talk about the opposite and discuss my least favorite Pokemon features. As I mentioned in the last video, there are a lot of different and diverse features and mechanics that exist within the Pokemon mainline games, and a lot of them are loved by many. However, there is the other side of the coin. While these features may be well crafted, not a lot of people like them, so let's go ahead and take a look at my least favorite features in this video. I was only able to narrow this down to 3 features, so this video will be a little bit shorter, but that's fine by me. Also, I'd love to hear what your least favorite Pokemon features are as well. If you agree with any of these on this list, please make sure to let me know down in the comments below. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's hop into today's list. Ever since Pokemon X and Y released, there has been one thing that has really bothered me when it comes to the battle mechanics, and that has to directly be tied to the new Pokemon friendship mechanics that were introduced in that generation. If you've played any of the games past Pokemon X and Y, you might have some experience with this new friendship mechanic in some way. Maybe you survived on 1 HP, or you cured poison because your Pokemon didn't want you to feel sad. This is the new friendship mechanic that I'm talking about. The higher your friendship with a specific Pokemon, the higher your chance of one of these random events occurring during battle. I actually really never noticed how bad this mechanic was until recently, however, when I played through Brilliant Diamond. I actually encountered this new friendship mechanic a lot more than I probably should have, especially during the Elite Four and the post-game. It's understandable at this point that my Pokemon are of course affectionate towards me. They have been through a lot in this playthrough, but it still really sucks. The mechanic at this point of the game really takes away the fun for me. I really enjoy a little bit of challenge when it comes to my Pokemon games, and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl definitely can be challenging games after you look at the team sets of the later gym leaders, the Elite Four members, and the rematches. However, the friendship mechanic is definitely a cheap way of winning in most cases. Granted, I understand, Pokemon games are for younger kids for the most part. They don't really have to be challenging, and I understand why this mechanic exists to make the bar of entry a lot lower for kids these days. However, if I were to make a suggestion on this mechanic to Game Freak, ILCA, or the Pokemon Company, I'd probably tell them to go back to the roots of its arrival back in X and Y. If I remember correctly, the only way to get these in-battle effects was to play with your Pokemon in Pokemon-Amie. Doing this would not only still make the mechanic useful, but would also make it optional for those who don't want it forced upon them in their playthroughs. And yes, I know, the XP share always on people are going to be yelling about that one as well. I honestly don't expect this mechanic to change much as we move further into Pokemon's lifetime, but you know, one can dream. As you might know by now, I am a pretty avid shiny hunter. I enjoy spending countless hours running back and forth in grass patches or pressing A while I wait for a soft reset. That's just the way life works sometimes. However, there are many different types of methods to shiny hunting that can be done throughout the core series of games. From things like SOS chaining in the Alola-based games, to PokeRadar in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. There always seems to be some mechanic baked in the gameplay that Pokemon games have that is useful for shiny hunting. And today I'm going to be discussing yet another thing that started in Generation 6 and really ended in Generation 6 because we haven't seen it since, and that is DexNav, and why it is of course the worst of all the current Pokemon shiny hunting methods. When Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire came out, I was very excited to get into shiny hunting in these new games. I actually came back into Pokemon when X and Y came out after dropping it during Diamond and Pearl, and during my playthrough of Pokemon Y, I managed to find 2 random shinies, which really kicked off my addiction for shiny Pokemon. When it came to these remakes, I was super excited of course to continue my shiny hunting journey, especially with the new Pokemon that were going to be available to catch that weren't available in Pokemon X and Y. And of course, when these games came out and we learned that DexNav was going to have an impact on shiny hunting, I was definitely excited to try it out. Now, for anyone who has actually tried DexNav for shiny hunting, you either really love it or you really hate it. I don't think there's much of an in-between. I, of course, am on the side where I really hated DexNav when it first came out, especially for shiny hunting. From constantly scaring away the Pokemon hidden in the grass to the amount of setup that you actually need with DexNav, in my opinion, it was just not worth it. If your hand slipped even once, you best forget about that chain because it's broken at this point. The Pokemon's run away. You have to be super careful with that directional pad. This method is probably the most involved out of any of the shiny hunting methods to date. At least with Radar in Generation 4 and 6, the really only thing that you needed to do was to pay attention to where the grass patches were. And with SOS, just make sure not to click on the Pokemon that you were chaining on. I'm not a huge fan of high-intensity shiny hunting methods, and like most, I kinda just like to turn off my brain when I hunt. I will be honest, I haven't really tried more Dex Nav since Pokemon Sun and Moon and the games after them came out, but I still feel like even if I did go back to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I really wouldn't enjoy Dex Nav hunting. Maybe someday in the future when I launch the games again. I don't think I've actually touched my Omega Ruby copy for well over a year at this point. Maybe I'll give it a chance, but right now I just can't be bothered. And of course, let's move into the final feature that we'll be discussing in this video, and that will be roaming Pokemon. Ever since Generation 2, Game Freak has graced us with roaming Pokemon in the form of legendary beasts in Gold and Silver. Entei and Raikou were definitely fun ones to catch in those games. I did not hate it at all. Every generation since, there have been roaming Pokemon of some sort within the games, from Pokemon like Cresselia, Tornadus and Thundurus, and even the Galarian birds from Sword and Shield's DLC. We have had a whole host of roaming Pokemon to go and find. Now, why exactly do I not like these roaming Pokemon? Well, that's pretty simple. It's a chore. It's just like going and catching all the unknowns. It's something that I don't want to do right now, and I don't really ever want to do. Sure, with the knowledge that I have today, it can be easy to find roamers by just entering and leaving the routes until they spawn in that route, but even with that, that's still really annoying to try and get it to spawn in the specific route you're looking for. I still, to this day, in all the playthroughs that I've done of Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, I still never catch Mesprit in the Sinnoh games because I really don't care. I don't want to narrow down my search and then try to catch a Pokemon that I believe can even run from you. I think in Generation 8 they actually removed the ability for roamers to flee from you, so at least we don't have to worry about that anymore. However, let's talk about the most annoying roamers, and that would have to be the 3 legendary birds present in Pokemon X and Y. And you actually only get one of them. When I looked up how to catch Zapdos on my first playthrough of Pokemon Y, I literally rolled my eyes because after encountering it the first time and it running away, I learned that I not only needed to do that one more time, but 10 more times just to be able to catch it. Why something like this got pushed through and kept in Pokemon X and Y, I have no idea, and it is probably the most annoying thing they could have done with Pokemon to this date. Imagine if you had to do this with every roamer, and I don't even know why they chose 11. Is there really any reason? You can bet that if I ever go for a shiny roamer, which I probably will do at some point, just not right now, I'm definitely going to either Master Ball them or make sure I have something like Arena Trap or Mean Look on the team to make them easier, because that would be no fun to have to try and find them again after them being shiny. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There are my least favorite Pokemon features. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and like I said in the beginning, make sure to list your least favorite features down in the comment below. I look forward to reading them, for sure. If you aren't subscribed, please make sure to go do so, as I'll be discussing more Pokemon related content here on the channel. If you haven't watched my favorite Pokemon features video, that will be in the card in the top right corner. Go check that out. Also, I'll be uploading a lot of Halo Infinite's campaign later this month as it comes out on the 8th, so look forward to that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day.